Follow us on Facebook at Predo Baby South America. Predo Baby diaper is known for its premium quality and high absorbency level. It keeps your baby dry and comfortable with its stretchy waistband. Available in regular paste and pull-up pants style from newborn to stage 7. See press for details or contact us on 233-2473. Predo Baby, the diaper of the new generation.
Hello there, Guyana. You've asked for it. It is finally here. The Wake Up Guyana Show with yours truly, Leonard Gildarie. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show. Hi, yes, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing. Welcome once again to this edition of, what is it? It's a Wake Up Guyana show. I wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody, but it's such a beautiful season. It's such a wonderful time, as always. I don't care whether it's pandemic, elections year, whatever it is that you want to call it. I feel the spirit in the air. I think Raj in the studio too is all feeling that too. He's wearing blue, not red. You want a cap to wear on your head, a Santa hat or something? He says yes. Yesterday I wore one. Today it's your turn too. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show. Lots of energy in myself today. That's because I was coming there. Not a lot of traffic on the road, but everything seems to be smooth, running smoothly by the Harbour Bridge there, coming down towards Georgetown by the La Penitence area, Lombard Street. There was a build-up, so be very careful around that area. If you're coming down to Georgetown from the East Bank area, Georgetown, I understand there's a lot of there's a hive of activities around the Regent Street area is normal. It looks at people as if persons, citizens are still around the place. They're doing what they have to do. You know, that's what Guyana do at all points in time, because it is Christmas time and they don't want to miss out. We don't probably might not have as much money that we would have had as last year. That's because the pandemic has squeezed everything out of us. But it doesn't mean that the people are not going to pull out the stops to make sure that they find some kind of enjoyment. And that's what I want to say to you. It's how you look at life, whether it's half full, half empty. Is the glass half full? Is it half empty? Whatever it is, do not give up hope. Do not despair, because as I've always said, as we've always said right here, we should be very positive. Our energies should be that way. There are many things to look up to as we move this country forward into the development stage. We are moving there. We've started production. It's just about a year now. We are going to be celebrating a year of production of oil. And let me tell you this. We've got to keep the pressure on. We've got to ensure that we don't sit still in our hands and allow things to go by. The world is going to spin us and we spin by, and we're going to be sitting here doing nothing and just moping and just hoping that things are going to get better. Let me tell you that nothing is going to get better unless you get on your feet. You put your face and you look right through that door there and look ahead and see what is happening. Do not have tunnel vision and see what is in front of you. Look sideways and everything. There are threats from all over. And you have got to be very, very careful and be very vigilant. Vigilant is the word today. It should be the word today as we go forward, because this is our country. And like I have been saying the last couple of weeks, Glenn Lyle has been saying it the last couple of years as well. When it comes to our country, the protection of our assets, the protection of our people, there should be no compromise there. And we are going to be doing what we know best, which is bringing the facts out to the open and let the people be the judge. And it has always worked out. We've learned to balance ourselves from there. So when you've started from nothing or very little, and you move to a situation where you have the bonus of oil, you should be wanting to protect what you have there, because it doesn't belong to anybody else. It doesn't belong to the US. It doesn't belong to Trinidad. It belongs to us, and we want a good share of the piece of pie that is out there, because it belongs to us. It's like a shop that you have in your yard. it belongs to you. It's like a gold field that you have in the back dam there. It belongs to you. Whatever it is taken out. You should have a fair share of it. And then that goes for almost everything, from your fish to your bauxite to your manganese to your forestry. Everything that is happening in Guyana, you should have a piece of it, whether it's via tax, because there's a hotel operating right here in Guyana. Those are things that we look forward to. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, this is the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host, Leonard Gildarie. And we coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio here in Charlestown, Georgetown. Very busy day from the traffic that's in front of Kaieteur News there. And it's been a rainy morning. I wanted to know if at one point in time whether there was going to be a let-up. Well, there was actually a let-up and the sun came out. So it is December the 11th, 2020. We just have like about 21 days more, 20 days more to go before the end of the year. And so we have just about 11, 22, about 14 more days before it is Christmas Day. But Christmas is not just about Christmas Day. It's about Christmas Eve Day. It's about Boxing Day. It's about Old Year's Day. It's about New Year's Day. And it's that whole season of preparing and so on. I want to put you in the mood. I was listening to the 12th day of Christmas there. I told the guys to play some songs. And they were playing it. It was cut short because we have to start here. So there are a couple of things that we want to, get out of the way today as normal, as part of our housekeeping business for the people of Guyana. And we'll tell you in a very short while, we will be opening those phone line, or the phone line, 226-7453, because we want to hear from you what is bothering you and how could we improve this country. And of course, you have your comments and your best wishes and so on and so forth. 62222, sorry, 62222. It is, I'm not sure where my mind is today. I felt a little tired this morning. 62222, and that's your WhatsApp number that you could send your messages to, as well as the SMS messages to. Right about now, what is it that your favorite newspaper has to say to the people of Guyana today? And this is what the news says. Guyana's largest selling newspaper says today at the top, billions of dollars, tax dollars spent. PPPC and APNU AFC teamed up to hide expense report for 2020 election. This is coming from accountant and chartered accountant and attorney at law Christopher Ram. He has been an advocate for rights and for good governance and so on over the years. And here it is that he's saying now. And if you're not familiar what we're talking about here, there are laws in Guyana which would call on the political party to make a declaration and to say how much money they would have spent and probably where it has come from. It's all part of the measures to ensure that you don't take dirty money as part of your campaign financing. You got to pay for flags, you got to pay for food, transportation, advertisement, and so on while you're campaigning. There's a lot of expenses. It's not a cheap thing by any means. So where you getting the money from? Is it coming from illegal businesses? Who are the people that are giving you? Is it somebody that you're giving contracts? How much are they giving you, and what do they expect in returns? These are some of the questions that people will be asking. However, the law state very, very clearly that you have to make a declaration that how much you would have spent and where did the money come from. And it is coming out now that none of the political parties have made that declarations, and it seems as if the GCOM head, the GCOM chair, there is a feeling or there is a posture there which is basically saying that, this is something we haven't really explored. We have not implemented it yet. And so I'm not sure how we move forward. So anybody, as of now, what they're saying there, that anybody could take any money from anywhere and just spend it and whatever comes to do. That's what it's saying. Kaieteur Kanji blocks giveaway. Robert Prasad returned fosters culture of suspicion. This Christopher Ram again talking about the role that he's saying that Robert Prasad played as the Natural Resources Minister leading up to 2015, and then he's back here now. It doesn't speak well as to how serious we are, especially in the context that we have not launched a probe, an international probe to determine what went wrong, if anything went wrong, who did what, who played what role, and whether we could, have a future in which we should not have a repeat on it. 2019 Auditor General report handed over to the House Speaker. Sussex Street drug bond SLED program, leg one still and targeted. And you know that the Auditor General has a very important role. He's a regulator when it comes to how our monies are being spent, and whenever those reports are being prepared and so on, he would audit the various ministries and other the regional democratic councils and so on, and look into those monies, how they're being spent. And there would be particular projects that he would highlight and say something went wrong with this. In this particular case that they have launched, this year was a pretty difficult year, he says. We came out a little late with the report because of the COVID-19. People were not working, and we couldn't send people willy-nilly to these various projects and so on. But he's looking into a number of projects, including that Sussex Street drug bond, infamous project there, because when there was an inspection of it, nobody knew. They made up this bond, and it was a very sweetheart kind of deal, the kind of deal in which everybody benefits and everybody gets money and so on. And so he is looking into that, or the Audit Office of Guyana State Auditors are investigating that one there, as well as the leg one selling, which has been dragging on for a couple of years now. I've spoken about it, and I'm going to speak about it again. When it comes to giving contracts to contractor who are not delivering, we have got to learn to build capacity, open it up so that our local business people, our local small entrepreneurs could start building the capacity to participate in projects. We would have known that over the years, a lot of people, a few of them were getting away with murder, literally taking our money, millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, not delivering, and they get a slap on the wrist and they continue the merry way. The president has made it very, very clear within the last couple of days that I think up to yesterday I saw that statement that going forward we're going to have criteria with when it comes to evaluation of contracts, state contracts, that we're going to make it very easier or better now, an even playing field, so that the smaller or the little companies could have a play to or have a piece of the pie. And so this is something that you want to hear from your president and from your government of the day, because, if you spread the money around, it's going to be good for development of the country. You keep it to one side of people, well, then you have one side of people getting rich while the others, they don't get nothing. They take the drop-ins that come in from the pipe, the driplets, or whatever you want to call it. New GPC board to address surgeries backlog. You could recall there were reports over the last couple of months in that because of the COVID-19, the GPHC would have halted or reduced the number of surgeries that it would have been performing because it was concentrated on this pandemic. So they're saying that we're going to restart surgeries now. Big story there. A chain snatcher captured, tied like iguana to utility pole. Front page of the Kaieteur News today. Minister Waldron was U.S. citizen at the time of swearing in. This would have been an admission by the Attorney General Anand Lal to the High Court yesterday. And it was ruled that she was illegal at that point in time if she was sworn in. Well, she was sworn in. So the government has corrected that by having her tender her resignation and then swear her in back. And so there's some talks right now as to whether the minister, while holding dual citizenship and was sitting in parliament and was sitting also as a minister, whether decisions have to be reversed or whether it's legal or so. So there's that talks going on there. But I think the Attorney General is saying very clearly, because of the matter of necessity and so on, those decisions that she would have taken has to be accepted. So interesting arguments, and it is good that we test our constitution at this point in time for cases that would, if it does not, it's not tested now, it would be tested on later days. Contractors failing to submit NIS should not be awarded government contracts. This, of course, coming from the Labour Minister, Joseph Hamilton. Several questions asked of him recently. So these are the stories that are coming out. And we would have been talking about this. If you can't comply, you can't pay your NIS for your staffers, you're not paying your taxes, no government contracts for you. It's very, very simple. We got to start waking up and smell the coffee. Contractors should not be getting away with murder. It is the people's money. It is my money. If you're not interested in protecting your money, it is my money. But you got to start waking up because you start complaining, like I've always said, about the little drop-ins of $25,000 and your millions and your billions are being stolen, taken away. You have a serious issue, and you're the one to be blamed for that, and not us. We're talking about it. You need to wake up and smell the coffee and start getting our acts. We need to start getting our acts together to protect ourselves. So Haitians opted to leave holding center for hotel. The government issued a statement yesterday making it very, very clear that we did not put the Haitians out, the 26 Haitians who were detained, that they wanted to leave. We knew that there was a court case ongoing to have them released, and we didn't want to hold them indefinitely. So we decided to release them from the Hugo Chavez Center down there in the West Berbice. And we asked them whether you want to stay or whether you want to go to your hotel. And they said they want to go to the hotel. So government released them. The initial story that came out is that government dumped them there. And it wasn't good for our relations or humanitarian side of things. And so the government explained that that's not so. EU releases almost 95 million US dollars to Guyana as budget support, and you will know from time to time these are not loans; these are money that's given to Guyana. EU has been doing that; they would have given money when we would have come out of the sugar support and so on, the sugar market and so on there, when it was preferential market and when we had good prices, preferential prices there, and they would have indicated that as part of our assistance to help Guyana recover, we're going to give you budget support. So this is one of the many. They would have been giving us, I think, over $500 million so far, and another 95 million. And it would come at a time. Guyana cannot spend it just like that. It has to be approved by the European Union on specific projects that they would have to look at. So it's been given, and we have to put it in our budget as a grant, and then we take it from there. And there's a very big story at the bottom of the page. World's top oil trader paid bribes for years to government. We have to pay attention to this because the people, the companies that are going to be dealing with oil, who is it that you have here in Guyana? What kind of track record do they have? Do we have a thief in the house? And so when you have companies coming here and they're dealing with your business and they have a track record of bribery, of corruption and so on, we have to be aware. We have to be aware so we would not make the same mistakes that Brazil and Venezuela in deep trouble right now. And Brazil is doing far better, but Venezuela is in deep trouble because of years and years of not paying attention. You had a lot of money. You're oil rich. You're flushed with cash, and you spend it how you want to spend it. And then when hard times come, you didn't keep money for a rainy day, as you say. You didn't keep money aside, put aside in the bank somewhere, so you could be able to assist yourself there. But what would have happened, making the situation worse, was when the American would have clapped sanctions on them, financial sanctions and other sanctions, which stopped them from doing business with the U.S. and in so doing squeeze that economy. So it's people fell into hard times, runaway inflation. There's in the vicinity 700-800% there. So it's a very serious situation, and we have to look at it as we go down. Let us see what are some of the stories here. The other things that we have in the newspaper here. Freddie Kissoon is Dr. Ali's 4-month old presidency violent. I didn't read that as yet, but I'm going to have a look at it. Traffic on the Damar Harbour is almost back to normal. Damages from collision being assessed to realignment to be done today. So this is very good news. Whether we like it or not, we got to give kudos to the people on the bridge there. It's a small bridge. It has been there since late 1980. It is 40-year-old as we speak, 40 plus years old. And what you would have had is a miracle that they're keeping it alive. But it doesn't mean that it's efficient. We know that it's given a lot of problems in terms of taking the volume of traffic that we have. It's just not efficient. So we're working on to build another bridge as a country, and that is somewhere by Peters Hall, like about a couple of 100 yards away to the south between Peters Hall and Providence here. That's where the government says it wants to put it, and so that project is in the making right now. So when that comes, and it's not going to happen within the next 5 years, when it comes, it is going to bring some kind of help, but we have to also look down the line in this country to bring more infrastructure works like this to ease the congestion that's going to come. In the meantime, we have to come up with innovative ways to ease those traffic congestion that we have there, carpooling and a whole bunch of other stuff. Region 2. 80 land titles for distribution region 2 next week, and this would have followed a visit by President Finale to that area. Ponzi-like scheme. Well, everybody's doing Ponzi in Guyana. Talking about that, we got to see what is happening with this government. 17,000 people hit. They got out of jail. They accused people. And the people are not receiving the money, and there's all quiet on the Western Front there. What is happening in the authorities? What is happening there, the Attorney General? We have to pay attention to these things. A lot of people would have borrowed. I heard some horrific stories. People borrowed from their friends. People borrowed from their savings account. When I say borrowed, they took it out with the intention that they would have put some good money into it. And it was all a very quiet time because nobody was talking and you were making money. Some people made money, others paid the price for it, for falling into a scheme which was not above board because it was not advertised anywhere. It was all a very quiet thing, word of mouth on the streets. And the people took their money hoping to get 4 to 60% returns. No business in the world really. I don't know of any business in the world that does that, those kind of returns. Maybe gold in Guyana would give you those kind of returns for the gold miners. But as we speak right now, there's no other business that gives you those kind of returns, and nobody was talking. It all blew up when people were not receiving the money. And when we did ask the people to talk about it, they went very quiet, and there was a lot of attacks on me, the person, for daring to talk about that. In fact, people believed in these guys so much that they went and they protested in front of the police station, lost them so they could be able to pay us. The fact is the money is gone. The money is gone, and it's a very sad thing. I don't want to beat around the bush and lie to you and tell you that I don't know about this. We have the experience of looking at what other stories would have been happening around the world when it comes to Ponzi scheme where the money is gone. They use some of the money that you would be paying to pay the other people and so on. So there's very little money. If they have escaped, if they're bad spent or so on, there's not that kind of money to pay back. So somebody is going to be left holding the short end of the stick. So those are the things that we have to pay attention to. So 2 persons charged, a minibus driver and an accountant up in Linden there. And they would have said it's a blessings kind of scheme, they called it there. And so they asked people to bring in 20-something thousand dollars or bring on 2 more person, and you would get 100-something thousand dollars within 2 weeks or 7 days or something like that. I don't even read some of these stories because it gets me sick. Sick that we have people like this in society would prey upon the vulnerable, and sick because we have people who are so naive. I don't want to use the word stupid, but they're so naive and they do not they part with the cash so easily for the lure of getting quick cash. Anything that is too good to be true, then you need to look out for it. There's something that's wrong there. So start being smart, start being watchful. Do not pay attention to what some of the politicians are saying to you, what some of the authorities are saying to you. Ask yourself if what they're saying to you makes sense, whether it's legal. And so you could be able to, if you don't know, ask somebody, pick up the phone, call the radio people, call somebody, call the newspaper. Is this thing right? Could I write a letter to the newspaper? Start being smart. And as we come to the year end, to the tender board would have been opening several contracts to a major contract, billions of dollars there. And so because they have to spend some of this money before the year is out. So that is what you need to know today from your favorite newspaper, the Kaieteur newspaper. Pick up your copy from your vendors, or you could read it online, Kaieteur News online there. It has continued to, take the level of reporting to another level. That's what Kaieteur News would have been doing over the years. You could love it, you could hate it. At the end of the day, it's going to touch on everybody. Even Glenn, even myself, I've seen family would be calling me and says, look, this story have touched me. It has hurt me. I said, I can't do anything about that. The story is there. I can't stop the newspaper from not carrying any story. Even Glenn Lyle, if there's a story to be carried and he comes down and the reporter reports it, he would really stop any stories from going forward. I could tell you because I'm there. I've been there 13 years. And when the story comes and the reporter presents it, during those meetings, you could bet your bottom dollar is going to go for the next day, regardless of which party it touches, which family member it does. I've seen family members and whoever it is appear in the newspaper and said, "Wow." But it is our duty, it is our mandate to deliver the news as is to the people without fear and favor. Remember, we don't have a constituent or we don't have anybody that we cater for except to the people of Guyana. That's what we will continue to do. In the meantime, it's just about 1:30 there, and it's our insurance time. And this is what I must say to you with regards to your insurance. If you want your insurance, it is, and you have a fender bender, you could get free coverage of up to $250,000 today. Full coverage with CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Ornock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. We will be back with you in a very short while as we take a break. When we come back, the number for you to call, for you to raise your concerns and so on, to talk, so we could wake up our Guyanese people. It's 226-7453. You could also text us on 62222. Do not touch those dials. Stay tuned. We will be back in a short while to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host Leonard Gildarie.
The Guyana Lottery Company is making every effort to protect our valued players and staff from the spread of the coronavirus. We are doing our part with placing signage at our agents countrywide, ensuring regular sanitization of terminals, and recommending that operators use masks at all times. We now require that all players also wear masks, wash their hands for 20 seconds, then dry with paper towels provided before purchasing tickets at our offices. Please observe and stand on the floor markers as you wait your turn. Then speak clearly to the cashier, check and collect your tickets, and depart. To observe a social distancing, only 10 persons at a time will be allowed to enter our offices. Let's all be safe. And remember, a ticket a day could make you rich today.
Sleep in comfort this Christmas with a certain mattress from Singer. Buy a king-size mattress for the price of a queen and a queen size for the price of a double. Singer, at home, worldwide.
Get ready! Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings! 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen, fix up your laundry, get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. And I want to tell you that there's some, in addition to some of the news that we would have shared with you a little while back, there's some other things that you should know right now before we go to our phone lines. And that is, there was in Region 1 reports coming out there that a suspect has has thrown explosives at a police station, a police outpost there in a place called Arakaka. This is in Region 1, I'm being told, and the police are investigating it. Fortunately, while there's damage to the outpost, all the police ranks and the officers that are there, they were okay, but they believe that it has something to do with a prisoner or somebody who may have escaped, or probably somebody who had a grievance with the police, obviously. So they are in that region there. Investigators are journeying into that area there to find out what exactly is the state of play there. But we have seen pictures, badly scorched building there, and I'm thanking God that for our police officers and ranks, we could curse them, we could criticize them. One thing that we would not want to tolerate is any attacks on their person physically, which would bring harm on members of our police force. At the end of the day, they're human beings. They work under very stressful circumstances with very little resources. I've known quite a few policemen, and they're decent men. My dad was a policeman too, and for the little that I could recall, his kindness and so on, and their family people at the end of the day. So you don't want any kind of thing. But this is a shocking case. I hope that they find the culprits, that maybe they issue an arrest warrant for the culprits that the suspect to have done that they want to question. But this is not something that we would tolerate on any kind of government institutions in Guyana, be it the police force or government buildings, wherever it is. Totally unacceptable there. On Friday the 18th, this is next week, there is something that is going to happen for Guyana that is going to be major. You could recall that we have a border controversy with Venezuela. Venezuela is claiming not only a major part of Essequibo, for where we have a lot of resources there, natural resources, including gold and diamond and so on, and our waterways and so filled with fish. But they claiming also part of our economic zone where we have fish, and even the part where we would have drilled and started producing for oil offshore Guyana in the Stabroek block by ExxonMobil. And so Guyana would have, after years, the coalition while in government would have taken this matter to the United Nations, where it says it wants to take the matter to be settled by the court, and the International Court of Justice in The Hague is looking at this matter right now, and that is the United Nations judicial arm. And so the matter was filed, and the matter had come up, and there was, before the court could have dealt with this matter, the substantive matter that is, they would have had to determine whether they had jurisdiction to handle it. And so next week is when, on December the 18th, the court is going to rule on the jurisdictional issue as submitted. Venezuela is saying very clearly, we don't believe that the United Nations International Court of Justice in The Hague, Netherlands, has the jurisdiction to hear this matter. So that is what they're going to deal with. And when they clear of this particular hurdle, then you go to the substantive matter, which is before the court. What exactly is this border that Venezuela is issuing? Guyana is saying that about more than 100 years back, we would have settled this matter here. We understand our borders, and Venezuela had agreed to it. Venezuela is saying no, that there was some other changes, and that we have claims onto Essequibo. So it is a very important case. So next week we are steaming ahead to that. We understand that it's going to take up to about 5 years. About a year or two would have passed already. So this matter is going to steam forward. Within 2 to 3 years, we're supposed to see a conclusion to this matter here. But we are worried, a little worried about Venezuela there. The Maduro government, Nicolas Maduro government, has made it very, very clear that it is not recognizing any kind of ruling from the court. But again, so nevertheless, a ruling by the court is a ruling, and we are going to go ahead because somewhere along the line, a government must accept this ruling here. And you know that Venezuela, there some pressure on Nicolas Maduro now, and that's an understatement. The United States has recognized Mr. Guaido as the official president of the United States, of Venezuela there, and they don't recognize, you could recall over the weekend, there was some elections for, I think, parliament in Venezuela there, and so they said that it was filled with fraud and so on. It's not acceptable. Guyana would have joined the calls for some remedial actions to be taken by Venezuela to reverse some of the damage, some of the PR damage here, and for them to put proper systems in place so they could be a recognized outcome to those elections. In the meantime, this is a very important case, and we'd have to continue to pay attention to it. I think it was former President David Granger who would have said this continued border issue with Venezuela is a continuous monkey on our back, and we have to get rid of that monkey on our back. Fully agree with it, and it was one thing that the coalition would have agreed with the People's Progressive Party Civic when it comes to the protection of our borders. We are one, and we should be one. And if there's anything that I admire, that I would back when it comes to anything about Guyana and what the parties are standing for, this is one thing I would say kudos to the People's Progressive Party, the ruling party right now, as well as to the coalition for seeing that there's some things that we could agree to agree on. And will recall also it was this government that decided that it was going to work with former Foreign Minister Carl Greenwich, who is in the camp right now, assisting with this particular case because of his knowledge, his institutional knowledge when it comes to the border issue and his role in playing with talking about it and so on. So they have got hold of Carl Greenwich here, and the coalition, the People's Progressive Party Civic, is working along with Carl Greenwich to make this case, see this case through, and see where it goes. So that's a very interesting development there. In the meantime, we are tuned in to the Kaieteur Radio here on the Wake Up Guyana show, and it is that time of the day when we start engaging our people to hear from them. What is it that they want to say? What are some of the opinions that they have about the government and other things that are happening that affect them? So it is that time of the day that you share those comments, and you could also do that if you don't want to come on to the radio via our telephone lines. You could also send it to 62222, and I could tell you that we will be reading it online. So is there a call online already? Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. The thing is, it's good for us to have people who are on watch for our country. While you might want to be specific in targeting government or targeting huge businesses like the oil and gas and bauxite and so forth, remember the very small man who wants or who people think should get 200,000 and so forth. We must look at those people down at that bottom also, at that level. And of course, businesses that are not big. And sometimes the media just go after the bigger picture. Now, the last time I checked was in an August publication that 8 billion Guyana dollars is owed to City Hall, and that's treated very much scantily in the news, as if the news don't really want to trouble the business people in Georgetown. And just when the mayor utters 8 billion is owed, that is just printed and it's forgotten. There is no follow-up. There is no one to say, well, Mr. Mayor, can you give us these business people? 8 billion is a lot of dollars. 8 billion, sorry, is a lot of money, which can develop this country. The media must also, once it wants to hold the other agencies, the bigger picture, the politicians, and we must hold that level also, the business people who owes our country rates and taxes, and do all these business people pay their correct taxes? Who watches over that? Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, and that was such a very, very important point being raised. While we're talking and we're looking at our oil development and gas development here, we have got to look at the rule of law across here, and that's something that we've been talking about too. We have taxes, and let me tell you how that goes. What I'm going to say here, there's going to be a lot of anger. Some accountants have been working, even the little boy who would call the bookkeepers and so on, have been working along with a lot of businesses there. And they've been, really been shafting GRA, not paying the taxes. And let me tell you this, if you see the way they live and how much taxes that they're not only not paying the NIS for the staffers, but they're also paying, if you bring in a container, you declare it. You know what used to happen? You bring in a container of television and you declare it as bicycles. And so they're in that you would rob the taxes. You just pay the customs guy a couple of dollars there, and then he turn a blind eye, and that's it at the end of the day, one way or another. But what exactly that the gentleman would have been talking about there, where are some of these stories here? These businesses have been getting away with literally murder. In the meantime, while the city stinks, city council has all these monies outstanding. So it's two sides or two ways of looking at it. What is city council doing about it? On the other side, how are we allowing or how are the businesses wanting to develop, crying about the state of the city, yet not wanting to pay rates and taxes? In the meantime, Gildarie and the rest of them got to pay taxes through the nose. If you know, I pay more taxes here as a worker maybe than some of the contractors who are earning millions of dollars. Do you know that the contractor that work on your place, that works on your place that they're building, when you look at how much taxes that they're paying, if they're paying anything, we are allowing so much seepage through the cracks. In the meantime, you and I, that are working with the government or with a small company, we have to pay our taxes. But the big companies get away with literally more. Some of them make billions, millions, tens of millions of dollars every single year in profit. You know what? They pay a couple of $100,000 in taxes. How come GRA don't see these things? How come City Hall don't see these things? But the gentleman is also right. The media has to be a little more attentive. The media has to pay attention to some of these things that are happening. In the meantime, before we go back to those lines, we have to have some talks about it. We have to have more people writing about it, because there's so many things that needs to be fixed in this place. So many things that we do, that we skirt around the corner, that we like to hide. We like to do things, and maybe people are going to say, but he's skinning up the process right now. It's not a matter of skinning up. Every time that you do that, pay something, but it's impossible for you to earn $10 million and you paying $200,000 in taxes. You got to do something a little better than that. You got to have a conscience. At the end of the day, when your street is not in a good condition and you're wondering why your next door neighbor yard looking like that or the street looking like that, but you living in a nice yard, it's all good in that. But what happened? Don't you want to have a better surrounding? Don't you want to do it? And then, so we got to fix then the NDCs and the RDCs and the town councils and so on, because they're also taking some of the little money that they have, and instead of spending it, lots of run-ins happening there. They give you a contract out for $100 million that worth $20 million. So money is being stolen there. So the people don't get value for the money. And when the contractor do the work too, they give you a 6 for 9. And you know what we're talking about, 6 for 9 when what you got there, right? So those are some of the things that we have to talk about. It's just about 1:46 now, and these are some of the messages coming from our people today who are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. Hi, good afternoon to you, Leonard, and special good afternoon to Rat. Season's greetings to all you guys in the studio. I've been tuning in every day to the Wake Up Guyana show from Saudi. This program is my favorite. Leonard, please keep up the good work. God bless you. Thank you very much, dear, whoever this is. Good day to the folks down on the Essequibo Coast region too there today. Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you're safe. Hire car drivers, minibus drivers, those folks that are on the ferry today and in the speedboats and so on. If you're in your little stall, you're selling a little side stand. If you're in the fields, if you're home, housewives and so on, a good day to you. Business people, a good day to you. I hope that you are having or feeling the spirit of Christmas. It should be there. Yes, we may not have as much as we would like, but guess what? We have our life and we have energy. And so we should, look at things and look forward to how can we improve it. Do not wait on anybody. You take steps to improve your life. Good afternoon, Mr. Gregory. We have all come to the conclusion. Okay, not that one here. Okay. Mr. Gregory, I have to disagree with you concerning overtime rates based on the 8-hour day. People would work a few hours extra per day, get overtime rate on those hours, then take a day off on Friday. So they will work less and get the same time or more weekly pay. For example, Monday they work 12 hours, equal 14 hours pay. Tuesday they work 12 hours, equal to 14 hours pay. Wednesday 8 hours, equal to 8 hours pay. Thursday 8 hours, equal to 8 hours pay. Friday they off 6, so 40 hours a day the week they got 44 hours paid. In other words, overtime should only be paid after 40 hours. Yes, it is something, but I'm just telling you what are some of the thoughts there that the labor minister there. It's something that will probably have to be have to be debated whenever it comes up back again. I think they would have to see it through. You don't want employees to be taken advantage. At the same time, we have got to protect our employees. But I do hear what you're saying there. It is something that we'd have to have some debate over. I didn't even know about this situation with the 40 hours, about some of the advantage. I would have heard about it, but I didn't even know that there was a school of thought that the 40 hours, as long you work, if you work 40 hours per week, 40 hours is 40 hours. So let's see what happens there. I'm going to try to get a little more familiar with it, and then we come back, we could probably have some more debates and maybe see if there's a final decision. But The Labour Minister there, Joseph Hamilton, would have made some very serious statements the last couple of days when it comes to the protection of workers. I like the topic. I like the debate and the talks to start, because if we want to improve this country, we got to tackle these issues head on and try to come to some resolution to have the regulations in place, the necessary laws passed, and of course, more importantly, you can have all the laws in the world. If there's no enforcement, it does not make sense, because there's nobody who's going to toe the line if they know that somebody's not looking over the shoulder. So we've got to look at all of that. In the meantime, good afternoon from Champaign, Myconey Creek. Keep up the good work. Myconey Creek, good day to you. Mahika Creek, how it is that you guys are doing all the way Region 5 there. Myconey, Mahika, a Barry area there. Ansgrove, all those folks there, Unity. Want to say good day. You go to the West Berbice area, Bath, and if I missed you, Blairmont, good day to you. And we've missed so many other places along the way. Do we have a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi, yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm God. Thank God I get you.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying weeks to get through to you, sir.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not getting through to you.
Yes, sir.
But I have some things I want to say, but I don't want to take up the time because, other people want to get in.
Yes.
Sir, I listen to your program. You're doing a good program, but sometimes, it is hurting feelings. Now, you're hearing a lot of things coming up now. A lot of things here coming up. A lot of things. You got Mr. Gildarie is on this program. He is giving, yes, I agree with him with certain things he said, but certain things that I don't agree with him. Let me tell you straight up. I don't agree with him with certain things. I wouldn't mention it now because I don't want to take up your time.
Yes, sir.
Certain things I agree and certain things I disagree with him. Now, yesterday I heard a lady saying that the PPP and the what do they call them again? The APNU, all of them is the same. I wouldn't say they're the same. Because when APNU take over in 3 months' time, they raise all the salary to $1 million. Sorry for that. To how much percentage? Do you understand me? I wouldn't say they're the same. Now, I will see with the PPP now because I got a time when I going to start criticize them. I wouldn't say it was the time, but I know when I going to start criticize them. Because there's only 3 months or 4 months. And you can't expect everything to done in 4 months. You cannot expect that. Mm-hmm. So I with them up to a certain time. Whenever the time reach, I going to call you once you got your program and I going to tell you, well, this is so. I don't agree with the new government. But for now, I will give them because they do some good things since they come in. They do some good things.
The beautiful thing there, sorry to interrupt you there, but the beautiful thing about what you're saying there, you're pointed to the heart of what I've been saying from the beginning, which is, in this country of ours, we could agree to disagree. We could, and that's why you have this kind of program here, that we should give different opinions, that we should raise those things, have discussion. This is the only way that we could have probably arrive or talk about those solutions and maybe force the authorities to do it. I just wanted to tell you that.
Yes, you're correct. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Uh-huh.
You're correct. Secondly, you got to remember, everybody calling in, but the NIS. NIS is a problem from creation.
Yep.
NIS is a problem from creation. Because you got to remember, no matter what government change, it's the same set of people still working there. What the government should do is give a survey. If they find you option, you don't want to work, go home.
Right.
If you don't want to work, if you're a politician, you go home. I'm just talking just now about the mayor. The mayor, I think we should get a neutral mayor. My man don't deal with politics. Because the mayor right now, all he's dealing with is bare politics. Mm-hmm. He's there from candidate this and candidate, and he's showing that he's representing one side. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't looking after the workers. I'm telling you, it's coming from my heart. I see it. He ain't looking after none of the mayor. He's there for one side. If anything happens to a member from the APNU, he's there sanctioning. He's there from Village Dam. He's there from this protesting by Gildarie. He's supposed to be in the office doing the work, trying to get together with the government. And that is the problem we got. We got too much of politicians.
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you the fundamental issue that I have. And you again. That's a very very good point. I find it. I cannot. I cannot. Reconcile the fact that when you enter office, you have to swear. You have to swear that you're gonna serve to that office. You can serve that office, and without fear and favor. I think somewhere along the line there that those kind of words are introduced. When you go in there, and when I hear some of the nonsense and see some of the things that these people do, I wonder and I ask them, I ask myself, aren't you not interested in a legacy that you're going to build? Let's say that we're talking you, Brad Ryan here. Are you interested, you, Brad Ryan, in maybe having a legacy that people, when they think back about Gildarie or you, Brad Ryan, that say, you know what he did? He did try. He did do this. He did do that. He left a legacy. What did he leave? And that's a problem that we have with our representatives or politicians and so on.
That's right. We look back too much. With the PPP, when there was opposition, I mean, I say that they used to do good work as an opposition. I'm telling you this. They've come from my heart. They used to do good work as opposition. Because why listen to the opposition party now? Listen to them now, it's beer race and hatred they're talking about. Everything they talk, look at the what is called them, these people that the 26 Haitians or whatever called. I don't see nothing as racial.
No, yeah, and I agree with you too. I don't see. I'm baffled as to how this could be a racist something, because when you allow, if you're protecting, I've said it again. We would have taken it as soon as we open back the borders to commercial flight. Well, the airports rather to commercial flights. The people start coming again because this is the only country in the Caribbean that's allowing it. How could it be race?
That's right. And they got the liars, all of them, that people that educated, who I had respect for. I ain't got none for some of them.
I saw Lincoln Lewis today writing about that. I imagine Lincoln Lewis writing about this.
That. Don't be nonsense. And let me tell you something. Don't you know where Mr.
No. Please. It's good. It's good discussion. It's good discussion.
They're going into Parliament to cause problem. They ain't going to look at some people. They're going into Parliament for cause problem because they're dying and you hear what they're going on with.
Right.
They're going into Parliament to cause problem. They're going to sit down and discuss. Well, let me get this right, as you rightly said. Let me get this right. Let's do this. They're going there to criticize, and nothing going to come out of it. They're just going there to hurt because I don't like the way. Look at Mr. Armand. Then the education minister had the problem with the former ambassador in the times of the 2014 thought when he leave, and she went and gave a statement, which I did disagree with her.
Yeah.
I would disagree with her with that. You understand? I said she should have never do that. Look, we write the lady a letter and telling she, actually bruising she and telling she, that he actually telling she, I don't want nothing to do with you. I will speak to the other one that come in. Suppose the other one come in and say, I don't want to speak with you now.
Well, we've got to think. But you're right. You're so right. I told Glenn Lallis a couple of weeks back. I said, as a citizen in Guyana, one of the things that I'm fearful of is that we have an opposition that is not going to be an opposition. We're tired. Why can't we talk about issues? Why can't we probably see something that, there's something that we could agree on? But as an opposition, you have to come up with constructive criticisms at time and not necessarily criticize for the sake of criticizing.
That's right, my brother. They ain't criticizing nothing constructively. They only criticizing because they want to criticize and causing problems, building people hatred against one another. Everything they hope in the most is black. Watch Mr. Ram, the channel Rams, I can't even name. I don't listen to you,
Yeah.
Because listen to he is starting to share nonsense. He's putting people, now he's saying that the government against the Haitians are coming. Let me tell you something. The Haitians, they got the right. The Haitians, they scam. I have no apologies to it. They got the right to stop it. And then I was telling my friend, I said, before this, I said, after time, these countries go to sanction Guyana.
Of course, because you're allowing your country as a stepping point into my country.
If you want to come, you want to stay in Guyana. If you want to fly to
That's a different issue. That's a different issue if you're coming here to stay.
You come from Nigeria. If you come fly from Nigeria to Brazil, don't come to Guyana, stay in Guyana. Then they tell you, but 6 months. Stop Some of them got passports. I know I can tell you because I see some of them with passports. How they get it?
I'm going to draw one parallel here, and I thank you for your points here. If you go into the United States, you might have a 10-year visa, right? Those visitors visa, the B1, B2. If you go to the United States, you don't decide if you stay 6 months. The man that is there at JFK or whichever airport that you land on, he decides how long that you're going to stay there. You don't decide. You may have a thought that you want to stay 1 month or 2 months. They decide how much you stay.
You know why? You know why I tell you, right? It happened to me, and it's not in America, in England.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to me. It happened to me also in Barbados.
Yeah, they decide that. All right, Chief, I hear what you're saying. Thank you very much for that, and let's continue. Right?
I still have more issues, but I don't want to keep you back.
No, I do appreciate, and you do happen to have a good set of points here. If you don't speak back again, all the best for the season, the Christmas and the New Year, sir.
Okay. All right, man. Have a good day and a happy Christmas.
You too. Thank you very much, dear. In the meantime, let's go back to some of the messages. Dear Mr. Gildarie, admire Glenn for his efforts to sensitize the people about the foul-ups in the oil deal. It's indeed a highly commendable gesture on his part. However, he must stop behaving like a toothless bulldog. He needs to bark less and bite more. He needs to operate from here onwards like the people such like Gandhi. Gandhi walked over 200 miles on what he called the Great Salt March. Along the way, millions of people were engaged. When he reached the site of the salt, all he did was pick up a handful of salt and show it to the people. This event went a far way to prolong the British Empire. Mr. Glenn, less bark, more bite. Good afternoon to you. Love to listen to your program. Keep up the good works. Thank you very much here. Let me see. Encumbrance. People are sending pictures here of the encumbrance. Let me see. Encumbrance, footpath, diamond. I text you yes about it. Please don't mention myself. Thank you very much there. And people were concerned there about the traffic situation there. And what is happening on the east bank of Demerara there. Some of the stalls taking over the reserves. People can't pass. If you got to pass, you got to walk on the public road. There's very busy East Bank public road. It's probably the most dangerous road in the country, if you ask me. And so when people say that you have a right to earn a living, you don't have a right to take over my resorts and push me to walk on the road. These are the fundamental issues, and so thank you very much for that. Good afternoon. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay. There are some issues here with regards to the overtime being paid and that 40 hours. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get some more clarity on this issue. I don't want to comment on it too much. While interviewing the Minister of Labor, Joseph Hamilton, a few days back, this issue came up here. And I myself was a little taken aback. Well, not taken back in the sense that I am upset about it, but taken back in the sense that I did not look at it in that light there. And before commenting on it further, I'm going to seek some clarity on it and maybe look back at what he says, and we're going to have a discussion on it, maybe not today, on Monday, and we're going to see how it is. Okay, this person is asking all the way from the United States. A few weeks ago, I asked you what were some of the top 3 issues that people have been calling in about. If I asked you the same question, what would be your answer? I think NIS would be the biggest one as the past few weeks. NIS is a big issue too, and environmental issue. People are really, really dealing with that. GWI, GPL, these are issues that are the people are talking about. And of course, with the $25,000, these are it's not among the top 3, but definitely people want to know. And after they would have received the $25,000, silence. Hi, good afternoon. So have a wonderful day. Keep on doing your good works. We have a lot of good people here, and they are very tuned into us. Good afternoon, Leonard Gildarie. I'm from Berbice. I own a bar, and my business closed for 9 months now because of coronavirus. I need some help. I have a loan to pay the bank. Give me some time, and I have to hire purchase with courts. And I can't afford to pay the monthly installment. They keep calling me. I tell them my business locked down. They don't want to hear that, so I'm asking to help solve these matters for me. I need some relief for the government. Thank you for your time. That's a difficult one. What you would have to do, going back to the bank, you'd have to go in back to the bank and start negotiating with them. If it is a mortgage and it's NBS or so, no banks want to hold on to any houses at the moment or any properties, because in this time here, what are you going to do with it? So they have a preference to readjust your loan, the payment time and so on. That is the conditions in which you were granted the loan. Instead of 5 years, give you 7 years to pay it back. So there's a couple of things that could be done there. Courts, I don't think courts want to do the same thing too. Not engage in them is not an option. You need to engage them. Go back to them. You need to talk. Our biggest issues that we have in Guyana now, like I've said before, is communications. If you could start talking to people, don't be afraid. You're not the only one that's out there. Go back to them, talk to the bank or NBS, and talk to courts again and tell them, look, I literally can't afford. If they got to take it away, they got to take it away. What are you going to do? But at the end of the day, you need to pull out all stops. Don't hide from them. Just go into them and say, look, I can't afford it. Instead of paying you $10,000, I could pay you $2,000. Or I can't afford to pay you, period, anything. I could barely live at the moment. I can't even raise money to buy any food because the money that I was earning from my bar, I'm not making it now. It's closed. So we have got to look at other stuff to supplement our income. So maybe that's a topic for another day. What are we doing during this pandemic? Before we continue, during this pandemic, many people found things like I just saw unbelievable. And it happens to be a close relative to a senior former government official, somebody who was pretty good up there, photography and so on. And he called early this week. In fact, he wanted to sell food. So I said, what happened to your little business with the photography thing? He says, things not doing so well. In fact, I was canceled about 8 or 9 times because of the weddings. Nobody's holding a wedding, so I can't take any photographs and so on. So he delivered some food. And I like that. I was one of his first customers today. The reason why I'm telling you that is because people have got to start looking at opportunities that are going to be created because of the COVID-19, the pandemic. The world is not going to be the same like before. It's going to take a little while. We've got to look at the multiple things that we could do to supplement whatever it is that coming into our home, whether it's a little fishing, whether it's a little kitchen garden, whether it's a little business that you could make a little dollar here and there, but do not sit and behave like it's the same thing over and over. We have got to do things a little differently. I'm not saying that you're not trying. I'm just saying that we have to continue trying. I don't ever sit still because for the simple reason I get worried. I'm getting a little older. My kids want to head into college eventually. I've got to start thinking about college fees. I've got to start thinking about pension for myself. What am I going to do? I think my NIS is not going to be enough to look after myself. I have got to look to something for the old days in which I could, give me that level. What are you thinking about? I'm just asking these questions, and it's just about just a little after 2:00 right now, and it's your insurance time. A fender bender time. Get your free coverage of up to $250,000 today. Full coverage with CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online for the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787, 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. We are going to take a break right now. Come back. More calls. 226-7453. You could also text us on 62222. In the meantime, don't touch the dials and make sure that you are in that positive frame of mind. We will have some fun when we come back.
The Guyana Lottery Company is making every effort to protect our valued players and staff from the spread of the coronavirus. We are doing our part with placing signage at our agents countrywide, ensuring regular sanitization of terminals, and recommending that operators use masks at all times. We now require that all players also wear masks, wash their hands for 20 seconds, then dry with paper towels provided before purchasing tickets at our offices. Please observe and stand on the floor markers as you wait your turn. Then speak clearly to the cashier, check and collect your tickets, and depart. To observe a social distancing, only 10 persons at a time will be allowed to enter our offices. Let's all be safe. And remember, a ticket a day could make you rich today.
Sleeping comfort this Christmas with a certain mattress from Singer. Buy a king-size mattress for the price of a queen and a queen size for the price of a double. Singer, at home worldwide.
Get ready! Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings! 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen, fix up your laundry, get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
Thank you very much and welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. We coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio. And the issue we talking here, we did raise the issue of 40 hours a week and how do you get overtime. What the minister, and thank you Vijay Prasad, all the way from Canada. Vijay Prasad would have been listening to that interview there with the Labour Minister a few days back right here on the Kaieteur Radio on the Wake Up Guyana show. And the minister, in essence, what he says, he mentioned that the overtime has to be paid as soon as you pass 8 hours. He says even if you work for one day, you don't have to make it to the 40 hours. That's the opinion of the Ministry of Labour. We will try to get a second opinion and ask some of our legal people, experts, what are the thoughts on that. But the minister says, based on what I understand, they're talking about the day. They're not talking by the week or whatever. So we are going to come back on Monday. We're going to have a conversation on this. When should you be talking about overtime? Because a lot of people would have been complaining how security companies, how companies and so on are calculating their overtime. And if it's an excess, that's how they pay them of 40 hours. While it might be that way in other states, other countries, and so on, when it comes to the law, we have to go what the law says. Was that what the law intended? The writers of the law intended when they put it into the labor laws, when they put these terms and so on? We're not sure, but we could only go according to the law, and that's how the minister would have interpreted. I'm sure he would have had some legal opinion, but we are going to come back to that in a very short while. Back to our calls, 226-7453. Good afternoon, caller. You are in the air. Go right ahead. Hello. We don't happen to have that. Season's greetings, Leonard. I'd like to know when the new minimum wage will be in effect because I am I'm in the private sector. Thank you very much. I'm not sure the minister would have started the process of having a $60,000 minimum wage for the private sector. There seems to be some pushback, but there is how you say it. There's been increasing calls, as I think FITOG, which is the umbrella union body, would have joined the calls for the people to have a decent minimum wage, which is $60,000. And they said that we should move in that direction, that they're pushing for that. So let us see. There's another issue that is under contention at the moment, and people are looking forward to have that minimum wage of $60,000. The minister wants to go in that direction. But there has been some delays on that. Let us see. I'm going to try to get an update on that as well. I don't happen to have one. Let me see what else is happening here. Season's greetings to you, Leonard. Okay, this person already did that. Good. Good afternoon, Leonard. NIS needs to revise their policies. For example, it should be mandatory that employees produce evidence to the employees that their contributions were paid. I suggest every 6 months. There's a way how you could do it too. While employers could be mandated to do that, employees is as easy as 1, 2, 3. If you have an NIS number and somebody has a computer, just go to the NIS website, plug it in, and you know how your contributions are going. Whether for the last 6 months, whether NIS contributions were paid, I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with that. I could seek some clarity. But thank you very much. We have some interesting questions being raised here, and I don't happen to have the answers right away, but we're going to get back to that. The ministers don't do the work hard because the rules keep up the... I'm not sure here. Thank you very much for that, though. Hi, Mr. G. Note to the Minister of Education, vouchers should be dispersed in increments, or better yet, have accounts set up at school so the funds could be directly credited to and for school necessities throughout the year. This is a very good thing. I think we could look forward to having some new systems in the way. Hi, sir. Good day to you and your boss and listen. Sorry to join the program late. Sir, since the Glen last show started, he's been touching on a lot of irregularities concerning the oil blocks giveaway. To this date, no one has come forward to defend the issue. I was hoping even the bishop, who's a man of God, to say something, anything. Oh, we're so poor, we're so hungry. You mean to say you forgot the people who stood by you when they were stealing your votes? Come on, represent yourself. Thank you very much. In the meantime, do we have a call online? Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm listening for the first time. I don't know how long your program went on.
Yes. But we've been here for a couple of months, this particular Wake Up Guyana show, but we would have been running a program since March 2nd, the elections day, on the state of elections, and we continued it with a different format, which is the Wake Up Guyana show right now.
Wow, and I've only heard it for the first time yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't get the number, just get it from when you call it out. It's a very good, informative program.
Thank you very much for that. And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Industry.
Industry, dear. Lovely place. I like it. A very quiet place, and wonderful people there. Decent, hard-working people.
Okay, well, now that I know about the program, I will listen and encourage others too, because it's very, very, very good.
Thank you very much, dear ma'am. We come to you 5 days per week between 1 to 3 o'clock every single day.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day. If you do not speak, enjoy your Christmas, you and your family.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Thank you very much. So, Leonard, Allahu Akbar. Guyana is a garrison state. That's a state without a nation ruling over Guyanese. Imagine if the state did not waste and sell out all of the natural resources, then the lives of my fellow Guyanese would not be in this predicament today. Imagine our courts are wasting litigation time over Haitians who are being used and abused by the sanctimonious gangsters and associations and associates in parliament, while my Afro and Indo-Guyanese spent 3 years in jail for joint. And we cannot legalize the weed and end mass incarceration. Total nonsense on the part of our judiciary. If this Shylock attorney want to take the case to the CCJ for human rights, then let him do so. The cost to file the case would be $1.8 million US. When will the Guyanese people learn, when they know fully well how they were treated in Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, etc., when they were fleeing the hardships of Guyana? Guyana is not the damn side for Haitians, Cuban, Venezuela, Communist China, Brazilian, etc. Let's protect this wealth and health of our country for our next generation. Thank you very much for that. Let me see. Trading in bitcoins will give you good returns. I'm not too familiar with that. I'm a little worried about that. But I understand people are going into it. It's digital coins, but I guess some people are making money. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. I'd like to complain about these people sharing the COVID-19 money. They come to my house to inspect. When they finish, they say I do not qualify. I live in this house for 27 years. I live here. I think they have favoritism in it. You need to raise this matter with the NDC. I think there could be some appeals there. And maybe you could tell us a little more about your story. If there are any others living in the house, and what is it, why is it that they would have refused you, on what grounds? Is there any other persons living there? Are you living with your mom, your dad? I'm not sure, but we need to have some more ideas, so we could probably be able to make some informed statements there. Let me see. Hi, somebody say hi. I want to say hi to you too. In the meantime, do we have a call in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
I am having this impression, I have listened to your program since March.
Yes, sir.
Every single living day. And this is the first time I get in through, because when the phone ringing, nobody answering. And as soon as I put on, you answer somebody.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm wondering to know if y'all just looking to see who will speak to you.
No. Let me tell you what it is. I'm gonna make a statement right now. It's my operator. He is a biased person, and I think we're going to fire him. I'm just kidding. No, but
what I'm going to say, when the minister was on, and Mr. Leonard was on, I was trying, even today, God knows whether just the lady.
No, we answer because how the show is. It can be a full thing. Yes.
Of calling for since you start, and as I pull on the phone, this body talk, and just so the same thing with me. Anyway, My point is, Mr. Gildarie, I enjoy your show.
Yes, sir.
And I listen to Mr. Glenn Lal. And I listen to some previous speaker today on the phone. I live through. This is from the bottom of my heart. I'm a pensioner. I'm a senior citizen. I lived through the 28 years of the PNC. I lived through the 23 years of the PPP. I lived through the 5 years of APNO. And so God still bless me living through now the PPP. Just give me some time. What I'm trying to say, when the PPP went in office in 1993, most, if not all of the time, they spent of telling us what PNC was doing. When APNO went into office 2015, they spent all the time telling you what the PPP was doing. Now the PPP is here again. All you're hearing what the APNO was doing. We do not want to hear what they were doing. We want to know what you're doing. That is the point. Not tell me again you're camping on the steady. One camp, like one of the ladies mentioned. PPP, PNC, in my mind, also is the same damn thing. Because let me go to this budget they had recently. They claim it's an emergency, but yes, I agree. All the VATs and the this and the what was taken away. Who get that? When will me, as a pensioner, get that benefit? But the VATs and everything took away from only the businessmen enjoying it. Because not that item in the market until today dropped. As a matter of fact, I went to my grand took me to the market. I had to go to the hospital. All the things raised. And then the government boasts still about how much VAT taken away. So who getting the benefit? Who? Look again. We talk about the water system or whatsoever, the pensioner. Pensioner who got to wait till next year for the other 5 years to get a little increase. Instantly, politicians get their increase. They get whatever salary they're getting, the benefit they're getting instantly. Guyana does not have 1 million people. Only 800. If you hear the billions and the billions, this coming in billions, this coming to do hotel, when will me, as a pensioner at the bottom, get that benefit?
That's the point, right? You want to experience that right now. That's the whole point.
Since 64 until now, up to now, me not get no benefit as a pensioner. Only those who get in power, the politicians, friends, company, and the businessmen. When you talk about taxes, I worked 40 years with Gaisuku. 40 years I was paying my tax with Gaisuku. I go to shops with some people with business. And if you see the tax they pay and what I was owning, what I have to pay. To be truthful, Mr. Gildarie, the only people paying the right taxes in this country is people like you who working with somebody. Especially the public servants, Gaisuku, Gaiwa, working with those people, you pay your right taxes, your right LIS. I can tell you, I could only know what to call him. I'm living in Borbis. You have the minister Kutaku, in my mind, she hagwash. Because it's the same story, great story from Janam to Janam. Same story. The businessmen, you get what you call it, the Minister of Labor. Non-businessmen paying anybody minimum wage. They not even pay the $45,000 minimum wage. So you talk about $60,000 minimum wage. Then the people working with them go and report to NIS. Go and report to the public servant, to the Ministry of Labor. You know what happened? That person get dismissed. They dismissed her. Dismissed she, so she had to hold on to the job. In the meantime, the Ministry of Labor people, NIS people, they go there, business matter, take one machine and carry them. Take one TV and carry them. Matter done. PUC, waste of time. The little malak of me. If GPL shafts me on 3,000, 2,000, where will I as a poor man go find pork? But the businessmen go run and get through. The point is, Mr. Thing, we the people at the bottom, government or whatsoever, they need to look down and not look at the top. Look down to me, the ordinary man, who getting this benefit. And I agree with you when Mr. Lal was talking, because I listened to him that man is right. Who getting this benefit of these millions and billions and billions in this country?
All right, I thank you very much. And you know what? You use a word there, Janam. I hear one for a long time. But let me tell you this. What you're saying there is what a lot of people are saying. We can't wait until next generation to come for us to benefit. What about now? What was the possibility of us getting now? The story keeps saying, you're going to benefit, you're going to benefit when?
$5 more.
Right,
and you,
right.
as a politician, instantly you can buy new car. Apnu did it 2015. PPP broke up, then think, me buy new car. Same thing PPP do. Apnu broke up, we buy new car. In the meantime, me, the pensioner, got to wait 5 years for a couple dollar increase. And you as a politician, you got instantly, and you get benefit. Instantly. You're talking about the future. What happens with me, the pensioner, now? Now. How much me fellow pensioners dead and then I get the increase of water? When you go get that? Till next year. Look up to yesterday, one dead. Now you can't get that. Because you have to wait 5 years. So the minister have to wait 5 years. The private people they have to wait 5 years.
I hear
That
you,
is
and
my
thank
point.
you. Thank you very much, sir. And you hit the nail on the head, and I'm
And
proud
one
of
more
you.
thing, NIS.
NIS.
22 years under PNC. That I'm talking from 1969. 22 years under PNC. 23 years under PPP. 5 years under
The coalition.
APNU. Now we're doing PPP again. And we got to wait for another 5 years before they fix NIS.
Aye. Thank you very
Then
much, sir.
we wait to fix it. What the people work with private people, the watchmen, every single government, and until today, Minister of Labor blind and deaf, they not see what happening with the people.
All right.
That's my point.
Thank you very much, sir. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Kanji, Borbis.
Kanji, thank you very much, sir. You have the handle right on it, and I think you should be replacing me on this program here because I think you got it and you have a way of saying it, which is hitting the nail on the head, straight to the point.
Because I hear a previous speaker talk that what the PPP doing, and we got to wait. In the name of God, wait how long?
Aye, all right.
How long we shall wait?
Right.
They don't wait for getting a salary and then you carry they take out. When will we wait?
Right.
Billions of people coming in. Hotel go make. This go make. I went to the hospital yesterday. Half of the drugs in the hospital. When are we going to fix that? Well, when the minister and the friends they get sick, they gone out in America. Then they gone to Cuba. Can I get that opportunity to go there? That's my point.
Thank you very much, dear sir, all the way from Kanji. And if I don't talk back to you, may you enjoy your Christmas and season a good year to you. And keep it up and always try to get on to us, right?
Yes, sir.
And thank you very
Keep
much.
the program, man, but tell the operator they need to look at the phone.
No, we can't answer all the time, but I will blame Raj on that. You know, he's a culprit. Really, really wicked boy.
Okay, then.
Thank you very much. So he's smiling. Raj is a really good champ. You know, I like him. He has been doing it. There's a story there. I'm going to tell you that story sometime or the other. But in the meantime, you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here. Wherever you're joining us from, I'm going to say good day to you. I hope that you're having a blessed day, that you're keeping safe. I know that many persons are tuned in from overseas. I'm going to call them out today. There's Davina Ramgolam, Mina Umrao right here on Facebook, Indra Balgabin, Betty Hansram, Pam Singh. We have Sheikh Abraham, Inti Muhammad, as always, you know, Carmen Khan, Pam Singh. Come back there again. If I'm repeating you guys, forgive me. Nanda Prasad, Tara Jagdi, as always, you know, Indra Balgabin, Bibi Shabira Hussein, she's been there, you know, every single day with us. Kamto Roy Singh, Ramesh Tiwari, and if there's so many that I can't really call everybody's name, but you guys know. It is always good because we're receiving those kind of comments and so on to build this country. This I'm begging you to highlight the stalls that are being erected on the corner of Stelling Road, Vreeden Hope. Pedestrian could injure the head on the shutters that are in the way. Thank you very much. Vreeden Hope, Mr. Errol Watts, Commander, how you doing? People are complaining about there being obstructions obstructions in the way that they walk in along the roadway, that people, these roadside stalls. I think the officers have been going around telling people, step off the road a little. Do not hinder the traffic flow. Make sure that you are looking out for the people who are walking too. We have to think about everything. Do not only think about yourselves. And if you're getting those kind of permission to sell on the roadside, make sure that you put in such a way that you don't obstruct the normal walkers. Good day, Lenny. Good day, Mr. Watts. Mr. Watts, I'm a high car driver in Parika, Hubu Road. It have a problem. These people park their trucks and cars right where we have to park. How the poor eyes open everything. Good holidays is coming. The police turn a blind eye. I think in essence what they're saying there is that people have taken over the high car side of things, trucks and everybody, and the police not doing anything. Mr. Watts, I think you're over that area there. There's many things that you're doing, but the people are complaining. They want some, they want you to also look at that. Good afternoon, sir. 2017 was the last time the private sector employee received an increase from $202 to $255. Today it remains at $255. Will there be an increase for them soon? Well, that we did address that. There is a proposal by the Ministry of Labour for it to move to $60,000. Let's see whether they sign it off and endorse it at the government level for it to become part of the regulations. Good afternoon, Leonard. No one have $8 billion to City Hall because the mayor is in the habit of increase the taxes and backdate. Then the guys had the money. And there's another good way of looking at it is the money, is the taxes, it's the interest that they put in there. And that's an interesting take on it. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm a regular listener to your program, 22 years of age. I applied all over for a job. I even applied to the office at Anna Regina for a job. They even sent back a job reply saying they accepted my application, saying that they're happy that I'm interested in a job, but they did not even call me for the interview. I need a job, sir. I have subject to. Please, if you could help me, you probably need to call me through the office sometime, and let me see if I can talk to. I need to know what are some of your qualifications, and so I probably could advise you there. Call me sometime next week, and let's take it from there. Thank you very much for that. In the meantime, let me see a couple of others. Do we have another caller in the air there? Good afternoon, caller in the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Leonard, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
When you going to visit and more, man?
Oh gosh, I haven't. Let me tell you, 6 days a week. I go home almost 12 o'clock sometime, 1 o'clock. When people are sleeping, I go home. So the one day that I have, I got to look after the dogs, maybe the car, sometimes some yard work and things like that. You got to do what you got to do.
On weekends, man. On weekends,
Mega come.
You remember you got to watch the alleyway, because you go and live in the next door.
Which part are you? Who am I speaking with?
This is nothing from me and more. The same street, not far from your grandmother's house.
Yes, I know that. Francis is there right now.
Francis is there right now, yes.
All right, I'm going to come. I'm going to tell him or whatever.
That's what I was telling Francis. I remember the mango tree in front of the yard.
Yes, there was a mango tree. There was a guava tree. There was a big guava tree. At the back had a big tamarind tree. I don't know if when he cut it down. My grandmother has a house, or my grandparents had a house, or has a house up in Enmore there, if you don't know, in the Newtown area. Lots of memories for me there with the sugar estate and so. So thank you very much, my brother. Any comments today?
I just keep on telling you that the box stop with the NDC, man, with the same stall on the road. Can you stop on the NDC? The chairman and the NDC.
They got to do the walk. They have to do the walk.
The same thing happened at Maripo Market. The stall actually, they out past the white line on the road.
Yes.
And people shopping. So there was nonsense going on. The box stop at the NDC collecting, when they go for collect the tax from the people on each stand and collecting the tax.
Yes. Thank you very much for that, my brother.
Okay, Mr. Leonard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. So it's Friday, December the 11th, and there's a couple of messages coming through here. I would like to call. Good morning. I would like to, let me see. This is 11:30, 12:23. Let me see very quickly. Hi, good morning. I love your music. Okay, this is probably sometime this morning that somebody would, let me see. Okay, good. Do we have another call in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Oh my goodness. The one
man. Good afternoon, man.
You lower your volume for your radio. Lower it for me now.
Yes, man.
All right, my brother. Tell me.
The first problem we get. How come Robert Passad, Leslie Ramsamy, and them man come back and hold big position in this country now? Where they come from?
I don't know. I don't work with government. I mean, but I hear you, what you're saying there. People have been raising questions. I mean, I'm not sure how difficult it is. Where do you turn as a leader for the party and so on? There are these people here. It's a difficult thing. I rather see the difficulty because people have different expectations. They want to see people who are young, energetic. Could you cast aside the older folks? It's a good topic to discuss.
Yes, Robert Passad destroy the country, desert the country, and do all kind of thing, and he come back hold a big position. It's not fair.
Yes, I agree with you there. How would you have liked to see it? But people, I heard people complaining and so on. What would you have liked to have seen with this new government with regards to the people?
Forget Robert Passad, forget Leslie Ramsamy, forget Sheikh Baksh. Throw them in the garbage. You got so much qualified young Guyanese. You know, and we can do better than them.
Yes. So you believe, what are some of the missteps, would you say, if any, that this government has made so far?
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I appreciate them. They're doing a good job. And, I give them a good grade.
Right. What are some of the things that you would like to see, maybe that they're not doing?
I would like to see this NIS by this. And let me explain to you. Me and you talk about this issue already, and you disagree with me.
Yeah.
When I tell you that they should put some money in NIS and raise the minimum pension, you disagree, and you said they should have put it in the pension itself. But here where the problem there. I face it, and me can tell you. When you reach 60, you start getting an NIS pension. You come off your job. You got to start living on NIS pension. You don't get your old age pension till 65. In the 5-year time, many of we had to go look security work and do all kind of a job. Just when you reach 65, you start getting your old age pension, yes. But between 60 and 65, the minimum pension can work.
Yes. It is an issue. They really need to look back at that. I really got to talk to maybe, I think it is the Minister of Finance and a couple of others. I think Ashley Singh is back there as the Minister of Finance, while it falls under the presidency, the office of the president there. I think he has some say there. We probably try to engage him and see what are some of the plans to really revamp, because NIS is a big issue. The president seems not to be very happy with it, because even down in the Esquibo recently when he went there, he made it clear that they must fix these issues. And I think even Joseph Hamilton would have said, I would pick up the phone and call the senior officials here, and if they could fix it within 24 hours, it means that the problems are fixable. So it just got to be, he is put it down to laziness on some of the people there.
Yes, I agree. NIS, very lazy. Most of them.
Yeah. All right, I thank you. Any other thoughts at this point in time?
No, I got no. Next time we got talk.
Thank you very much, and if I don't talk back to you, enjoy your Christmas, right?
Yes, thank you very much. You too, man.
Thank you very much, sir. So in the meantime, dear, let's go back. Somebody's asking if I attended the Enmore Hope Primary School. I can't remember. I did hear. I know that there was a gentleman by the name of Gulturan. Yes, Gulturan. I remember that name there. And more. That was since in the 80s, man. I'm an old guy. As expected, Granger has declined the president's invitation. That's the end of any talks with the PNC. The PNC needs to reform. If you don't know what we're talking about here, the president here, finale, the government would have announced that they've invited the former presidents to have a talk or to sit down and have a gaffe as to how we could probably, do some things better for this country. And Granger is the former president, the coalition's president, and he would have been going on the platform there as a presidential candidate to be returned as well. They're in opposition. He has officially, based on the reports that we're getting now, refused the meeting with President Ali So it looks, some of these things here, I'm not sure fundamentally whether I agree with it. What are some of the reasons that you would not want to have talks? I could agree to disagree with you. I don't have to agree with Glenn Lyle on everything that he does. But when it comes to the newspaper running, I have to sit down and talk to him about the running of this newspaper because I play an integral role in the management of this newspaper. Could I refuse not to talk to him and because I don't like his ways? No, 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 no. That's unacceptable. From that perspective, I would say that David Granger has erred in this particular way. The reason, I don't care what kind of excuse that they put on the table right now. When you have the government of the day that's sitting there until we have some kind of ruling from the court, and every day that ticks by that we don't do anything to improve ourselves is another day wasted. And so when he would have wasted an opportunity, maybe yes, you don't want to engage Irfan Ali because Irfan Ali, if you engage, you're legitimate, you're saying that I recognize you as the president. But the fact is, until the court rules otherwise or anything else, Irfan Ali is the president of Guyana. Whether we like it or not, there is a vice president. Barjagdi is the vice president. Whether we like it or not, the opposition leader is Joseph Harmon. If there's an invitation, you go to the invitation and you talk about it. You could raise whatever concerns that you have there. But when it comes to the better of this country, when it comes to the development of this country, you don't want to appear there. I think you've erred, Mr. David Granger. You've erred, and I don't agree with this stance. I was hoping that you would have accepted this because as an analyst, in my own little ways, I didn't go far in school when it comes to or to UG to have those big words that Freddie Kissoon would be using. But I could tell you that when it comes to having all hands on deck and having everybody on board, I understand that very, very clearly. And that gentleman that would have called from Kanji just now, talking about what he expects this government to do, have an understanding as a layman, as a person who's experienced and knowing what hardship is like, that we have understanding what we expect from our opposition people. So these are not the things that are very, very hard. Do we happen to have a caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're Diego right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I'm living in Friendship.
Friendship on the East Bank of Demerara. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the NBC came and dig my land and dig a big trench behind me, bulldozer and with soccer trees also. I have pictures showing when it was there and now how they bulldoze it and they said they're making a dam. There is no place where the water came out. I'm kindly asking you if you can get in touch with Mr. Zulfikar Mustafa and send him down in Friendship. Ask him to come in Friendship.
I hear what you're going to do for me. You're going to send me a text to 62222, maybe with some pictures and so on. Let me forward it to his people to look into it.
I got mango peel tomorrow. I can't
no, but you must. Oh gosh. All right. What address is this?
They dig a big drain behind me.
Look. Here what you can do for me. 227 5049. 227 5049. That's the Ministry of Agriculture there.
227
5049.
6049.
No, 5049.
Oh, 5049.
Call them and tell them you want to get on. You need to make a complaint that you spoke with us and you want to know where to make the complaint there. And they can guide you to the right direction and you could probably deal with it right there and then.
Yeah, I would like him to come up in Friendship, because they think they had a meeting, right? They had a meeting with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought up the same subject.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're digging this thing because there is no way the water can go.
Yeah.
And all it's doing is going to flood up my land back.
Yeah. All right, call them 227 5049 and let me know how it works.
Okay.
Thank you very much, my brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. What's happening? In the studio right now, we happen to have WRE as is on his phone. He doesn't seem to be interested in talking to the people. Good afternoon, brother Leonard. NIS and GPL seem to be the two most popular items affecting the citizens. I applaud Kaieteur News and the good people of both agencies for taking time to talk to the people. My brother and sisters of the land may be upset by my next statement, but 30 years of neglect and mismanagement cannot be resolved in 5 months or 5 years. patience is required for both. Keep speaking, stay focused, offer solutions. There's folks on the other sides are human beings too. Brother Glenn and the crew are fighting for our well-being through our resources. Work in progress. Stay safe and God bless. What is happening, Riaz?
Nothing much. The traffic is not heavy today, which is good.
Yeah.
I just pulling up on parking when I was here. I heard you. I was to mention this yesterday, but by the time I saw Mr. Lal and you was chatting, and then I was setting up as well about that issue about the leader of the PNC, because I can't say leader of the opposition. Former president, much better. Former president. Now, I as a Guyanese, and this is not politically, this is me being, anyone could judge me however they want, that's fine. How can you make statements, you're not recognizing the president, you're not recognizing this government, but you're calling on the same said government to do X, Y, and Z? Well, example, you're calling the government to pay, and I'm just using this because this is the first topic, to pay a retroactive. You're calling on the government about oil. That's a different story. That's two examples. The same government you said that you're now saying that you don't respect, you don't recognize. Then, that's one. Then 3 days ago, the leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, denied a meeting with the outgoing Canadian ambassador. Then one time you were calling for help from the same set diplomatic people on the conclusion of the elections. Mm-hmm. It really contradicts everything that you're standing to do.
It flies in the face of logics.
Yeah. Who are these people's advisors? And mind you, a strong opposition is good for a country. It was the strong opposition of the PPP that got them into power.
You know
today.
what I told Glenn Lal 3 weeks back? I was having a conversation with him in the newsroom. Mm-hmm. And I said that my fear for Guyana, and this has nothing to do with the PPP thing. I'm a citizen of Guyana.
Exactly.
And I told him that yesterday too. I said my fear for Guyana is that we're going to have an opposition. The opposition play a key role in the National Assembly.
Exactly.
There's some key committees that they sit on, like the Public Accounts Committee, in which they look over the Auditor General report.
Good.
And they
the
critique
Parliamentary
it and
Affairs
so on,
Committee
right?
and everything like that.
So if you don't play your role and you have a poor opposition, you know what could happen to us?
Exactly.
You're going to have a government that is, and I don't think your finale is like that, but there are checks and balances to make the system more rigid.
Yeah, when we have people like myself, people like you, and many other persons who are calling for, and mind you, a few months back we heard about, well, it is time for us to have inclusive governance. You now get a meeting with the president of Guyana, with former presidents, and then your opposition, the biggest party of the coalition, says that we don't recognize it. So what are we asking for? Shared governance? And why are we fighting down when we have careless minds just runs around in society? And I say that with no apologies to people, because it's worrying when you have a section of society believes what these people said. I've seen it on social media, like, yes, it's good, chase them out, chase her out, don't go to her meeting. It reference to Joseph Harmon says that he have political commitments that he can't make a press conference on to now to talk about the oil that I heard Mr. Glenn Lal alluded to, but he have political commitments. Mm-hmm. Now, it's worrying, and this is a Guyanese thing, because the government and the opposition and politicians need to play a role for the development of this nation. Mm-hmm. It is not about the citizen at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, they hold the important authoritarian offices, right?
Right.
And it's worrying. It traces me back, like, you know, when you're a little boy and you carry the bat, the ball, the wicket, the tub, and the thing as the wicket. And if you out, you just pack everything up and you go home. You ain't playing back no cricket with them. So me playing with Gildarie cricket today.
Well, there's a whole thing. This thing look like a little children kind of thing.
It looks like a little children attitude.
Yeah, let me pop out my chest and swell up my mouth.
Yeah.
I ain't talking to you anymore.
Yeah, I ain't talking to the Canadian ambassador, because you know what? We feel raw deal. Imagine the letter states. I have to paraphrase because I can't find it. But you were orchestrating, and this is me paraphrasing, your government was part of the orchestrated plan to get Sharon Das out of Guyana, the no confidence motion. How did that play today? An ambassador leaving the country write you a letter as the opposition to come pay you a farewell visit. And that's the trick game you going and play 2 years ago now?
Well, you know, sometimes we got to be very careful with when we do things. It doesn't come back and bite us, and these are things. But I would like to see a responsible opposition. I want them to hold the feet of this government to the fire. It's their job to do that, and it should be their job. Your job as opposition is not to oppose everything, but to be very logical, to be very constructive in the way that we oppose as well. I saw a photograph, I think it was yesterday or today. There was Bill Clinton, there was Obama, and there was another gentleman in which they came up against, a man named George Bush. And I'm wondering, three former presidents,
well, they're going
on
to
opposing sides.
Yeah, and they're going to be part of a campaign to promote the safe use of this COVID vaccine. That is
right, but we could agree. The whole point is we could agree on certain things.
Correct.
And which is not such a. I mean, I can't understand. Some things just baffle the people of Guyana, and this would be one of them. Trading in bitcoins give you good return. NIS have workers pushing people around. I have to get 10 years money that I was on the pay. They tell me to call back every time I call them, and this is somebody saying that. Let me see. My second contribution is about the NIS minimum pension. It's too small and must be reviewed. People who are receiving just that pension are find it very difficult to cope with the cost of survival. Yes, and these are the conversations that we gotta have about your money that you have there, the NIS, the social net that you have there. When we talking, do not talk about 20 years that the benefits are gonna come. Let's talk now. What is it that we could get now, and some of the things that we could do right now. And this government got a very, very uphill task of reaching out to the people, of introducing some of the programs which is going to give them some kind of protection. But in the meantime, do we happen to have just one more call that we could facilitate? Yes. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello. Hi. Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, am I on the Kaieteur radio?
Yes, you're on, and you're on the air right now. Could you lower the volume on the radio, please?
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I have one problem I got. It concerns the Demerara Harbour Bridge.
I
have a problem with the bridge. Like, for example, if your vehicle breaks down on the bridge, right? There's a fee you have to pay the Harbour Bridge to tow your vehicle either from the western end to the eastern end, or from the eastern end to the western end. I'm very concerned. Why is that possible? Why is the cost it? There's a vehicle. They don't really tell you when it breaks down.
No. If you break down in the middle, let's say you break down, and this one here might have to think. If you break down at Diamond there, how do you move that vehicle? There's a cost. They would have had to invest in the trucker, so the vehicle doesn't tell you when it's going to break down.
No.
But in all kinds of things, like in America, if any place that you go, if your vehicle break down, you have to pay for it to get moved. That's how it is.
Then about 10,000 to tow a vehicle over from the bridge. 10,000.
Okay, well, that's another issue. If you complain about the cost of it, I don't know what the cost of doing that, but there have to be some.
If you don't have this money, you take your vehicle into the bridge compound. You latch it there. Whenever you get the money, then you release the vehicle.
They has to. Let me put it this way. If you're to ask me, the bridge must recoup money. If your vehicle break down, somebody got to be charged. They can't charge you. Like this guy run into the bridge. He has to be charged. He got to pay something. And we're going to keep on top of that story because it's my bridge. The second thing is, you don't expect your vehicle to break down and there's not going to be a charge. I think what you really questioning there is whether it should be $10,000 or so. Maybe I could
some sort of consideration when it comes to that, you know.
Right. I could probably ask the Harbour Bridge thing, maybe flex with you a little or so. If you have an issue, maybe ask to see the GM there or so. But I agree, maybe it's the cost of it, but somebody got to pay though, right? Somebody always has to pay. And I thank you for that. Where are you calling from?
I call from LaGrange here, Independence Street. There's a second issue. I was sometime ago they called it concern the Parfait Harmony Health Center, but I didn't get to inquire to the person.
Right, I think they're looking, they're doing some assessment.
She was busy concerning the COVID-19 relief and so forth. And the sharing of the money. So, but I got a video. Might probably would like to run your number on Ray or for the 698 0002. That's it. I could probably send the video to show to consult the show. This road is in a terrible state. We're terrible.
Must send it back to me and let me have a look at it. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much and enjoy your season. Bye bye. So very quickly, dear, we are coming down to that time, unfortunately, when we have to say goodbye. Let's see if there's a couple of things. Do we have time to take another call? Okay. We are just about 2:54, and I think let me see if there's anything. Derek says, could you believe that sanctimonious gangs who refuse to meet the president? The cat is a lost cause, and so we gotta come back to it. If you're very serious about moving this country forward, I think if you were to ask me, I would want to say that all hands should be on deck to move this country forward. It cannot be that we just leave it to the government. As an opposition to, you have a responsibility. And you could twist it and turn it and give whatever excuses. I think, Mr. Granger, you've lost a golden opportunity here to, if you have some concerns, to really raise it to Irfan Ali and his team there as the president of Guyana with his cabinet members and so on. If they wanted to talk to you on a big issue, this has nothing to do with a political talk. It has to do with how can we move this country forward. I rather suspect that's the agenda of it. How can we move this country forward? So what have you done? Maybe it's not too late for you to reverse that decision. Of not meeting with President Ali. This is not something that I expected.
And then what you'll find happen is the same people who are feeling proud that they shouldn't go, when the meeting do happen, you will hear the different talk from the same said people of how it was only one side of former presidents that was there. When you were given a fair opportunity. Because given the fact that who else could be the former presidents? Dr. Jagdeo. Ramatar,
Sam
Hines.
Right.
That's it there, basically. So when former President Granger choose not to go, the meeting will go down or whatever plans. I don't know what it is. Whatever it's in the pipeline, it may go down. Then you will hear a side of the society say, well, they've only decided of what they wanted. But you had the opportunity, or you get the opportunity currently.
Well, the reality is going to go down as a meeting that the president had with former presidents.
Well, yeah.
That's what it goes.
Yep.
So whatever decision comes out to that, it would have to be with the former presidents and president and the government of the day. Be that as it may, unfortunately, it is Friday afternoon now, and it is that time of the day when we unfortunately would have to say goodbye. If you have missed this program here, you could also relook at it on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. It has been a pleasure wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you would have joined us from. I want to say, as always, please, please, please take care of yourself and make sure that you protect yourself, protect your families by wearing your mask, washing your hands, that you're not going into any kind of house party or parties or going to places which is going to expose you and by extension your family and your loved ones and your co-workers. But in the meantime, it's been a pleasure. Today has been an eye-opener. Some very good calls, some very good interactions from our people there. That is the kind of thing that I want to see. You don't have to like Gildarie. We could raise those issues. We could talk about the issues. The issues affect you. We could build a better Guyana. But don't, whatever you do not sit on it. Do not just allow this country or the days to pass you by. The world is spinning. The world is moving on. They're building. They're doing everything. They're putting their hands on the deck. And they're making sure that everybody play a role in making it happen. What are you doing? What have you been saying? What role are you playing? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And so as we head into a weekend, make sure it's Christmas. Make sure that you do whatever those, there are lots of unfortunate people in Guyana who would have been hard hit by the pandemic, and they might not be so fortunate as some of us. If you can lend a hand, it's Christmas time, it's a season. Don't be a Scrooge. Make sure that you help out, because that's what we are. That's the kind of people that we are, or at least we would like to be. I know that we have it within us. Let's make this world a better place. Charity begins at home. It starts with you. It starts with us. Let us start doing that. You know what is right. Let's start doing the right thing, the correct thing. Have a pleasant rest of the day and a good weekend. We are going to be meeting you back on Monday, same place, same time, as we continue our work with you on the Wake Up Guyana show here. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. See you.
Tired of changing your baby's clothes? We have the perfect solution. Sleepy denim diapers.